What's up guys, Andrew here on my channel Geared Inc, where I get to share what I'm passionate about with you. And today we have something that's a little bit special. So I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant, and if you don't care about any of this, you can kind of skip ahead to the rest of the video. But if any of you watched the budget gaming build from Austin Evans and Jay's 2 cents, it made me very excited and nostalgic. So let me explain why. When I was a kid, I came from a very well-educated but very poor family, and the first kid to get a computer on our block obviously made everyone insanely jealous. Now, my dad was a gamer at heart, and he had a computer from work that was like cutting edge. And so what he did is he actually put a bunch of games on it. Now, at the time, these games were like the cutting edge. We're talking Doom, Castle Wolfenstein, Rebel Assault, and then when Warcraft 1, 2, and then StarCraft came out, of course, just blew everyone's mind, right? So I remember those games as a kid. Now, my best friend to this day, their whole family was very tech-oriented, and what eventually happened is he gave me one of their old computers for free. And I was so excited because I finally got to game with my friends. Now, what this video is going to demonstrate, and what I'm trying to do, is, let's say you want a game, and you're young, or you're old, and you just are on a really, really tight budget. Well, a lot of the games that people play, like CSGO, Overwatch, Dota 2, they're not necessarily the most intensive games. And so what this is meant to do, what the whole point of this video is can you either get a $50 older desktop, or maybe for free if you get it from like a family member. Obviously everyone uses tablets now and their cell phones, and so I'm sure your parents have an old desktop like this just lying around. Can you buy one of those or get one of those and then shove in a new modern GPU, and can you play those games with your friends if you're just starting out? Well, we're going to see on this video if it's possible, and I think you're going to be very, very happy with the results. Alright guys, let's meet the rig. What we have here is a Dell Vostro 200, and it is a beauty. What we're running out of here is a Core Duo E8500 at 3.2 gigahertz, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and a 300 watt power supply. Now, typically, I'm not going to recommend a 300 watt power supply for pretty much anything, but the point of this build is to put as little money into it as possible, and I scored a free upgrade with a 64-bit Windows Pro that the previous owner had installed. I got all of this, including a CD-ROM drive, for 50 bucks. Now, the system did have a single PCI slot and 2 PCI Express slots, and because it's a 64-bit operating system, it did allow me some leeway with GPUs. The GPU we're going with is the Gigabyte Radeon RX 460. I picked this one for a couple different reasons. Reason number one is it was the cheapest card I could find that fit the bill. Basically, with Newegg rebate right now, it is only $70. On top of that, it does not require any kind of an external PCI cable, meaning you can plug it directly into the motherboard, and as it has a very low wattage, that is very important for this build, specifically because we only have a 300 watt power supply. On top of that, this is also the card that Austin Evans and Jay's 2 cents were going to use in their build initially, but couldn't because they had a 32-bit operating system. Since my operating system does support the card, I wanted to see how it would perform. Now, the first step was to install the GPU into the motherboard itself. Took a little bit of wiggling, but once I got it in there, it sat nice and comfortably, and with everything installed, it was time to do some gaming. Now, there are 3 games I tested: Dota 2, Overwatch, and CSGO. These are all very popular games. At the same time, I did not mess with any of the graphical settings. I wanted to see what the default would be, and for most of the time it was medium. Dota 2, I was actually able to raise the graphics a little bit and not lose any performance. I did record all this on my phone as I did not want to run OBS while I was playing the game to take away from CPU performance, so let's take a look at the results. Now, after playing each game for 30 minutes, CSGO came in with an average FPS of 60 on medium graphics, Dota 2 came in at 50 with medium graphics, and Overwatch came in at 40 with medium graphics. All 3 games being extremely playable. What this means to me is that this was a total success, and again is a totally viable option for somebody who's looking to go a very budget-minded route. Now, I had an extra keyboard, monitor, and mouse on hand, but what if you didn't? I wanted to include those costs in this build, so after looking around, I was able to find all 3 items from a guy for $15. What that means is that the total cost of this build comes in at a whopping $135. Wow. Now, these numbers are all the more impressive when you take into consideration that if you were to make 2 upgrades to this system, an SSD and a new power sources, God only knows how old the one in it is right now, it would only incur maybe about $80 to $90 additional dollars. And so this has been for me a total success, and I think it really opens up options for people who are looking to game on a budget. I've got a couple closing thoughts on this video, and then we're going to wrap up.
Alright guys, that was my budget $50 gaming PC build, and wow, I was blown away by the results. I think what this shows is that if you are starting out and you are just wanting to build a PC, start gaming, this is a viable path, especially if you don't have a lot of money. I mean, if you can find an old desktop from a family member, maybe an old monitor and keyboard and mouse, that takes away a ton of the expense. And then as long as you get a low wattage, modern GPU that is compatible with the operating system, you're good to go. So, I hope this has inspired you guys. I really had a lot of fun making this video, and the only way that we're going to build the PC Master Race is more review. Jump on board. So if you liked this video, leave me a thumbs up. If you didn't, leave me a thumbs down. Get subscribed. If you have questions, leave a comment. The more people that I know want to see me make these videos, like I've said, the more motivated I'm going to be. But I'm going to make them anyway. So we hope to see you next time here on Geared Inc.